Hello everyone, this is BigBang Games here, and today we're going to be unboxing our first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck. Now, I've been hearing a lot of information about Master Duel saying that it's dying, and I completely agree with the scenario. Unless Konami puts in some actual events, maybe some permanent modes, and ban Maxi and other types of problems that the game has, then maybe the game could be alive again. I mean, look at Pokemon TCG Pocket. They literally like they just keep getting better and better. Meanwhile, Master Duel is just plummeting like crazy for a while. But um but regardless, I'm still going to make Master Duel content when I can. But for now, structure deck time. Now, for those of you who haven't watched the Chronicles series, this is basically the whole deck based on the Chronicles series between Ecclesia and Albaz and Mercurier. Like, basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Had its own lore about the entire structure deck in a bunch of episodes throughout the Japanese version of Yu-Gi-Oh! On YouTube. Now, I'm gonna be clear. Like, whenever I do any of this, I am not sponsoring Konami. Like, this is all just for content. That's it. Nothing else. Now, anyway, now that we got that out of the way, let's get started on unboxing the structure deck and see what kind of cards we got in here. I also want to check one more thing real quick before we get on to unboxing the structure deck. Like, we have the back saying different types of cards that you could get in there. I mean, we've had like leaks and spoilers about that, but sometimes I'd rather not try to get spoiled than get spoiled, because that makes it less fun. But you have basically the full package of making a branded deck if you want. You even got the Bestials in here. You got Nib, even though I think Nib is okay-ish against some matchups in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But in other matchups, Nib is crazy. And also, you get triple tactics thrust and super poly in here. Absolutely busted. And black goat that laughs. Fusion duplication. Like, the best structure deck so far was the new Blue Eye structure deck where you get Neo Kaiser Seahorse and Maiden of White, but after everything that you can get in this structure deck, I think this tops even the Blue Eye structure deck this year, which is insane. But once again, I'm getting off topic, so let's go ahead and open this. Now, I do want to clarify that I'm not going to be opening all three of these, because I did buy three of these, and it was it was definitely more expensive than buying three $10 structure decks. Like, they made this more expensive, but it's worth the value considering branded is a really good deck in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, let me open this if I can get it open. Oh, give me a second. We even got the mat that comes with the structure deck. This looks really nice. Alright, so for the holo card that comes with the structure deck, we have the anime Ecclesia. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look that bad, but here's the problem. This doesn't look like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's like they just put something from an anime and slapped it on the card and be like, yeah, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, even though it's not. I mean, it is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Don't get me wrong, but the art on it just doesn't make sense. They could have just altered it to make it more like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card than an anime. But anyway, let's open this. Let's see what kind of cards we get. So just like last time, we get a holo. So yeah, we already know about Ecclesia, so let's move on. Fallen of Albaz, yeah. Incredible Ecclesia, very good in a few decks, including Sword Soul. Aluber, beautiful. Blazing Cartesia, a viable card, especially in Branded. Albion, another viable card. Guiding Quem, this is very good. Springen's Kit, you can play this in Branded, Chimera, etc. Mercurier, a good hand trap for Branded. Despian Tragedy, this one's pretty good too. I mean, there's a couple of decks that don't use this card that often, even though this is a good card. Bestial Lubellion. You could basically play Bestials in almost any deck. Because the Bestials, they're really good. They're, in some scenarios, they're better than DD Crow. But in other cases, you want to run DD Crow. But that's not often the case. In the Genesis format, you do want to run DD Crow. But in the modern format, you want to run Bestials. Magnamut, a searcher for any dragon. Love this card. Serenar, just mill any Bestial. Juice Worm, send any card to the grave. And we have another one of these new article. Bro, like, Konami, what is this? What are you doing? Like, this is not a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. Not whatever this is. This is a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, why are you doing this? Alright. So you get Nib. I mean, lately we've been getting Nib in plenty of, well, not plenty. In the structure decks this year, we've been getting nothing but Nib for hand traps other than Ash Blossom, which I think is not bad considering those two are viable hand traps in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Keeper. I mean, nobody really runs this card, but this card is pretty good. And we got the new Fallen and the Virtuous. This is a Branded and Dogmatica card, which basically means you either get to pop something just by milling a monster from your extra deck, or, well, not just any monster. It has to be Fallen of Albaz, obviously. So, let's say if you want to mill something like Rimbrum the Striking Dragon, you can do that. But, anyway. If you have an Ecclesia monster on your field and grave, this is also a monster reborn, just for Ecclesia monsters. Branded Fusion. Branded's getting that love, guys. I mean, the card came back from the ban list at 2 a while ago. And now we get new support from this set. Well, not this set. This structure deck and Burst Protocol that's coming later this year or next year. I forgot the release date. But anyway. Branded in white. This is another good fusion spell. I love this one. This one's basically a miracle fusion, but for branded. Branded in red. This one's another good one too. Branded opening. Basically an E-teleport, but for Despia monsters. Branded in high spirits. Another searcher. Branded lost. You cannot chain any response to any fusion summoning that involves branded lost. That's what makes this card so good. Branded regain. You basically put whatever banished monster there is back in the deck and you draw. Or you could basically monster reborn a bestial monster, which is really nice. Nadir Servant, a searcher for any of the Dogmatica monsters or Fallen of Albaz. Branded Bond, okay. I don't really run this card that often, but it's not that bad. We got the new fusion deployment. Well, I mean, this has been out for a while, but I like the new art on this card. I don't know. I mean, I like the old one as well, the one with Dark Blade on it, but this one's good too. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think the new fusion deployment's better, or the old art on it looks better? Like, I want to hear your opinions on it. And then we have Triple Tactics Thrust. This card used to be expensive, but now you can get this easily in a structure deck. That's insane. That is actually insane. I mean, same thing with Black Goat that laughs. Like, it's just major convenience. Like, thank you, Konami, for giving us some expensive cards that's on the market right now, just for a nice looking reprint with new artwork and easier access. Thank you. Foolish Burial, don't need to tell you what that does, because everybody should know what Foolish Burial is for those that play Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically mill a monster. That's it. Nothing special. Gold Sark. Iconic card throughout Duel Monsters. And one of the most broken fusion spells of all time is in the structure deck, Super Poly. Like, this card is insane. And it still is to this day. Branded Retribution. I love this card. This is basically a Omni Negate, but this also has a nice graveyard effect, where you can get any spell or trap that's a branded spell or trap back in your hand. Branded Banishment. This is a fusion trap. Branded Sword. You get to add a monster back, or you get to summon a token. Branded Beast. This card is crazy. Like, you just pop a monster if you have a dragon on your field, but you need to have a bestial monster for this to activate. And speaking of Black Goat that laughs, guess what we got? Black Goat that laughs. Like, this card is crazy. And if you buy 3 of these structure decks with this, whew, you're going to have an easy time. I'm telling you that right now. Because I've seen videos involving Black Goat that laughs, and this card is crazy. Like, neither player can special summon any monster with the same name, well, original name, except from the grave. But you have to declare the monster. But if this is in your graveyard, you cannot activate the effect. So I could stop basically a Nib or an Ash Blossom or Malice Heart's Crafter or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, this card is nuts. Dogmatica Punishment, for those that play Dogmatica or any control decks that involve this card, you already know what it does. Mill a monster, pop a monster, and then extra deck monster that's sent to graveyard, do some crazy shenanigans. Fusion Duplication. Branded players play this card often in Branded, which is basically a copycat for Poly or any other fusion spell. So you could even banish Super Poly if you want, and this acts like a Super Poly. And we have a new fusion monster that involves Branded or Fallen of Albaz. The dragon that devours the dogma. This looks sick. Okay, so you need a Fallen of Albaz and a light or dark and one effect monster. So you need 3 monsters to summon this. When an Ecclesia monster is on your field or in your grave, this card gains 500 attack and it's unaffected by other cards. If this card is special summoned, shuffle 2 cards from any graveyard or banishment back into the deck. During the end phase, if this is in your graveyard, you can add a Dogmatica or Tri-Brigade from your deck to your hand. But it has to be sent to the graveyard during that same turn. So if this is not sent to the grave, you will not be adding any Dogmatica or Tri-Brigade monster. And then you got Mirror Jade. Don't need to tell you what it does. Basically, nil any monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz, and you just banish a monster. And if this gets destroyed, it acts like a Starving Venom. Or, not Starving Venom. This acts like a Raigeki. Just pops all monsters the opponent controls. This is better than Starving Venom. Because Starving Venom only pops special summon monsters, not all monsters. Albion, this basically banishes monsters to fusion summon, which some people often combo this with Lubellion, the Searing Dragon, which you could discard a card as cost to fusion summon by returning cards to the deck. Even those that are banished can go back to the extra deck or deck. But if they're banished face down, it doesn't do anything. Alba Lenitus, this is a really good card. Basically, you can contact fusion this or do any of the other fusion requirements to go into this. So if you're playing against like Blue Eyes, you can summon Fallen of Albaz and just contact fuse. You don't even have to use the effect, which is nuts. Oh yeah, and if this was, I forgot to mention, if this was sent to the grave, you can add a Poly or a normal fusion spell from your deck to your hand. And as for this Albion, you get to add or set a branded spell or trap from your deck if this is sent to the grave this turn. Now we got that out of the way. Titanclad. And what I mean, the first effect is irrelevant. The second effect, though, is what's crazy about this card. You get to add or special summon a Dogmatica or Fallen of Albaz from your deck. So yeah. Brygran, nobody really uses that. Don't really care about it. Same thing with Sprind. Rimbrum. This is basically a free special summon for Fallen of Albaz when it's in the graveyard. And if you have Albaz in there too. And this is also a negate. This is often used in Branded or Chimera, or any other various decks that involve Branded. This card's crazy. And finally, Granagul. If Fusion Summon, you can send a level 6 or higher, light or dark, from the deck or extra deck to the grave. And if a monster special summon to activate a monster effect, you can banish this from your field or grave. Special summon a Dogmatica or Despia from your deck or extra deck. I know I'm just reading this wrong, but you could see the effect on there. For those that are Yu-Gi-Oh players or duelists, excuse me, that just play the game but don't read, I would advise you, read. It's important to read in the game. Now that jokes aside. Alright. That is the last card for the structure deck. So, what do I think about the structure deck? I'd say this is a pretty solid structure deck. I think it's even better than Blue Eyes, to be honest. Like, there are various possibilities you can do with this new structure deck. For Dogmatica, for Branded, for Chimera. There are so many possibilities you can do with the new structure deck. And for those that are starting Yu-Gi-Oh! Or haven't come back to the game in a long time and want to learn about the modern format instead of the Genesis format, the Edison format, the GOAT format, etc., I would definitely recommend getting this structure deck for starters. If not, then Blue Eyes. And let me be clear, there are two types of structure decks when it comes to Blue Eyes. There's that crappy old one just to throw you off track. And then there's the new one that involves the Maiden of White and Neo Kaiser Seahorse, Wishes for Eyes of Blue, and all the new Blue Eyes cards. I would think about getting that structure deck more than the original Blue Eyes structure deck, because that one's ass compared to that one. And if they don't want Blue Eyes, then just get this structure deck, because this structure deck is insane. It has insane potential. It's a little more expensive than the original $10 structure decks, but it's worth it for the long run. So yeah. Anyway, that should be it. Now, I will be making a deck profile for this deck at some point. I don't know if it's going to be Branded or if it's going to be Dogmatica, but I will be testing the new cards, experimenting, exploring different possibilities. But I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe to BigBang Games for future videos that involve either gaming through Master Duel or various other Yu-Gi-Oh videos that I do on the channel. Or, if not, then deck profiles or unboxing different structure decks. But anyway, this is BigBang Games signing off, and I'll see you at the next unboxing or the next video.